But what's beautiful about that is those sharp pieces of glass that people try to throw into your pond to create a negative ripple in your life somehow, some way, intentionally or not.
Mm-hmm.
If you go diving in too quick and you focus all your energy into that, you're going to get cut.
For sure.
Ooh, you're going to get
And
cut.
probably infected.
And infected, girls. Don't get infected. Hey ladies, welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. What's up, Mo?
Hi.
Did you plug your computer in?
I did.
Well, welcome back to the She's Rooted podcast, everybody. For you, it's been a week. For us, it's been a couple minutes. We are coming back because if you listened in the last episode, which, mind you, was so freaking good. Can I say that? Like, I'm so excited for that to drop. But somebody dropped the mic before she spoke it out of her mouth. And that was Mo, because her computer died. And we're going to pick right up, Mo, because what you were rolling with the pebble and the truth and the prayer. And then I thought there was 3. But there's 5, my friends. She just didn't get to it. And I'm like holding the cup, and I went with the story of the rocks and the pebbles and the sand and the water. That is probably not at all what you were going to talk about. So why don't you bring us on back to last week for them, but a couple minutes for me, because I am really excited.
I love that. I love the rocks and the pebble and the water and the sand. That is my jam. I actually love that you went there with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You left me hanging. I didn't know. I had a visual, and I was like, I'm like, I don't think she's coming back.
Oh,
so,
man.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. That's what matters. Things happen, and we just keep going. And I'm excited to share this. I think this will be a really great chance for us to get a little bit more practical in kind of how we get rooted in our lives and how we stay rooted in our lives. Because don't you think that's also interesting that we do as humans? Well, I know I do it. I guess I can't speak for everybody, but it's like when I get going in something, I'm like, I got this. I can take my foot off the gas. Like, when you get yourself out of a pit and you're like, okay, right. We're good. We're golden. No, for me, that's typically like I do that, and then I tend to like regress, and I'm like, shoot, I got to get back, right?
Yeah. I did a whole training before about how you can't coast uphill. Like, have you ever tried riding a bike up a mountain and then you stop pedaling? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Go backwards, fall over? Like,
yeah.
You got to keep going up. You got to put the work in to get to the top of your mountain.
Well, but then you get to the top and you coast down until the next mountain comes, and you're unprepared because you were just coasting. Yeah. You don't got enough juice. But if you were to keep kind of like slowly pedaling and like sticking with it, yeah, that's exactly it. So I think this will be fun to kind of dive into some of the ways that, because I know we both get asked this often, like, well, how are you so happy? Or why do you have blah, blah, blah? And how did you get this? Like, it's not luck, and it's not just something that happens. You don't just like, I want it, so there it is. Right. There is intentional work, and we talk a lot about it, but maybe we can give some practical stuff. So I was talking about how I had been journaling in a different way more recently, and I've actually really stuck with it, and I've really started to uncover more things, and I love it. So if you already journal, maybe this is just something you try and just see if you like it. Or you could be like, no, I'm good with what I'm doing, which I thought I was, but I was like, well, let me try this little challenge anyway and just see how it goes. And I'm loving it. So basically, you journal and you start with this pebble, and the pebble represents basically like if you're sitting on a pond. This is how this woman described it, and we could probably tag her because she would probably appreciate it. She's on YouTube. But if you were sitting, and she's got better videos that really explain it, but if you're sitting on this pond and you throw a pebble in the pond, it's the thing that makes the ripples in the pond, right? So like you had stillness, some pebble came and it created ripples in your day. That's what the pebble is that you start to journal about. So you kind of think about your day and you're like, what threw ripples in my calm water? Right. What? Yeah, right? And I'm like, oh, my kid's skipping rocks across
Yeah.
this one and this one. No, so that's your pebble. So you start to journal about this pebble, and you start to go down that route. And then you journal a truth. So I don't know. And again, you could watch her video, we could tag her. But for me, it's kind of flowed naturally to bring in a truth that kind of like checks that pebble, right? Like maybe I went off on this tangent on something that something I'm swirling on, or something happened and now I'm swirling and I'm journaling about this pebble and how it blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden I catch the part where it's like, no, what's your truth? And I go into the truth and I'm like, well, the truth of the matter is actually this pebble didn't really, like I start to like kind of counsel myself through it, and I'm like, well, that's not actually even truth. Like, what if? And you start to discover that. And then, or it could just be a truth. Like if you need to just anchor down in a truth that you could totally go that route. Then you write a prayer. So for me, it's all so far been tied around whatever it was I'm journaling about. So I'll write out an actual prayer there, and then you write a gratitude, something you're thankful for in the day. And then the last part is a change that you could make tomorrow. So I think where I was going from last week's podcast about uncovering. So here's a hard, solid way to uncover what is it maybe that I need to say no to or let go of in order to make this change, right? Because we were talking a lot about that last week. But this has been really like having this guided way of journaling has been really cool. I mean, I journal all sorts of different ways, and a lot of the times it's just like whatever's on my mind, or, I'll counsel through or kind of reflect through or reflect on the day, and I'm so grateful. But this type of journaling, especially for me who tends to, and if you're wired like me, this might be helpful. I tend to see the good in all the people, in all the things, like all day long. I'm just made that way. We talked about that last week. Like some of us are just made certain ways, and it's not me being phony, and I'm not being like what, it's just how I'm wired. And so for me to have to like take a pebble and name a pebble and like understand that that's okay to have this pebble there, and then like journal about it and go through the trust and go through or the truth and the prayer and the gratitude, and then come up with like, well, what can I change? It's been really good. I'm really liking it.
Yeah. No, I like the setup of it, because I feel like it makes you get rooted in whatever situation it is. Now, I envision as you're talking, you're throwing this pebble into the water, right? And it creates that ripple. Now, could there be two different pebbles in your life? I know that there is, but I'm going to stretch you on your journaling, because there can be pebbles that get thrown in our pond, our life, right? That create a positive ripple.
Mm-hmm.
And there could be a pebble that creates a negative ripple if we allow it to stay negative.
Mm-hmm.
But that pebble, Mo, is always going to fall to the bottom of that pond. So as the ripple goes away, it only stays for a few seconds, right? And then it goes to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we like the ripple that it created, then what do you have to do? It's not your luck, right? It's a different 4-letter word, WORK. I can spell, friends. So it's the work that we need to put in. Maybe we need to make that positive pebble, that good pebble, we need to put more of that in our pond.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we start to throw that into the pond and we grow through it, if it is a truth that is a negative ripple and you name the truth to it, I love that, because you'll find, is it really your truth, like you said? Or am I putting on somebody else's truth?
Right. And it could be a truth.
Or do I need to work through it?
Yeah.
Right.
I love that you said that too, because it could be a truth, like a mantra that you need, like a reminder that you need there to stay rooted in something. Like you're saying, you're going through these different pebbles and you're trying to figure out, like, is this good? Is this bad? Is this, what does this signify in my life? Because again, we also get to decide that. Like we're the one, the action is neutral.
Yeah.
Unless it's devastating, evil.
Right.
It's right. And then we go like, is this good or bad, or how am I going to use it? And what can be improved on tomorrow is the change piece, but that truth part could be a mantra if you had one, like something you needed to be reminded of.
I love visualizing things. When I was younger, we would travel to Arkansas my grandparents retired out there. And
Oh,
yeah, so we used to like fishing, and we were on like the
yeah.
White River, I think it was
Yeah.
called. Norfolk, Arkansas is where we were at. And then Mountain Home, Arkansas is where they retired to. And why can't I think of the dang river's name? It doesn't matter. Anyway, we used to skip rocks.
Yeah.
We'd all stand on the bottom by the water, and we try to skip rocks, and you try to pick the flat rocks so that mine could go further than yours. And as I'm envisioning your journal idea, and we're talking about, is this a good pebble that is going to benefit my life and make it towards that best version of myself? Is this a negative pebble that is going to get in my way? We have people standing around our pond trying to throw their own damn pebbles in our pond. But we need to make those pebbles like ride the wave of the top of the water. It might skim it a little bit, but you can't allow it to go to the bottom of your pond because then it's going to resurface later and it isn't your pebble to focus on.
Now I get to challenge you because I'm tracking with you. But we have, our house on the lake,
Yeah.
and the water there, I guess it's not a pond, but I would assume this analogy or this visual would still work. Because even if somebody throws their rock and it goes in, and you're saying it's going to resurface, and so when I'm picturing my lake, right, like the waves come and essentially it comes out. Well, listen, like if they throw a sharp piece of glass in my lake, it doesn't wash up on shore as a sharp piece of glass. It washes up as smooth lake glass that we collect and put in a jar because it's so pretty and smooth now. So again, we went from a pond to a lake, so maybe it doesn't work, but I'm thinking that it's going to come up mossy and different than the way they threw it in. And that what if we go back to what you're saying and they throw this in, it creates the ripple. We know the ripple doesn't last. The aggravation doesn't last. That if we allow it will settle to the bottom, and then when it resurfaces, it's going to look a little different. It might be a little more worn. It might be covered in green seaweed grossness. It might have chips off it from something else knocking against it. Like the ripple, the issue that it caused goes away, and the way that it washes back up. I could use it to build a little glass memory jar like we do at the lake, and it becomes something beautiful.
Right. But you allowed the lake to do its job to strengthen up.
Yep.
Or strengthen yourself up and soften the edges because that isn't going to stand in your life. But what's beautiful about that is those sharp pieces of glass that people try to throw into your pond to create a negative ripple in your life somehow, some way, intentionally or not.
Mm-hmm.
If you go diving in too quick and you focus all your energy into that, you're going to get cut.
For sure.
Ooh, you're going to get
cut. And probably infected.
And infected, girls. Don't get infected. But when we know the difference between what we should pour our time or energy in and what we shouldn't, what we should say goodbye to, right? Because that's what we were talking about the last time. And you do pull out that sharp, what once was that sharp piece of glass, and you're looking at something that is softened, that you didn't attach yourself to. It didn't own you. You didn't allow it to cut you for very long or cut you at all. It is an experience that you can hold up and pull it out of your pond and say, I've walked through this. I get it. And I got you. And this is how I got through it. So I think that there's a podcast I listened to. I don't know if I dropped this while we were recording a few weeks ago or if it was just you and I talking. Or maybe I imagined it and we never talked about it.
Talking to myself.
There was a podcast that I was listening to, and it was really profound because it was about the purple cow. And at the end, the guy asked him, did we talk about this? He asked him, like, anything that happened in your past, anything that was negative. Like, would you change anything? Would you change anything from your past? And the guy's answer was awesome because he said, no, I wouldn't change anything. Not one thing would I change, because I would be fearful that I wouldn't be who I am today if I changed anything out of my past. And it's like, man, you're given your walk for a reason. You just got to walk through some things.
That's my grandma. My grandma says that all the time. All
Yeah.
the time. I think I don't know if we talked about this on a podcast, but it instantly triggered a thought that I think I mentioned, whether it was on a podcast or in the same conversation we had about this, because that is my grandma to a T. And she used to always tell me also when I was younger, and I would be like, before teen years or like that middle school teenage time, and I'd be like, well, so and so blah blah blah, or I wish we had this like so and so, and she would always tell me like, oh yeah, you want to be like so and so, well, do you want her life too? Because if you want to be like her, you have to have all of her life. And I would instantly be like, nope, don't want it,
I'm good.
yeah. And I love that. And that's something my grandma genuinely like tells me all the time. Because I'm always asking, like, do you regret anything? Or would you change anything? Or would you?
No regrets.
She's been through so much. And I'm like, would you? And she's like, no. She's like, if I changed even one thing, then I'm afraid I wouldn't have, all of you or everything that I have, or I wouldn't be who I am.
Right.
And
it's so true.
I know.
I mean, man, it is so freaking true. When you were talking about the 1 degree, the whole thing, if you were to go run 1 degree in the wrong direction the whole way, you ain't getting to where you thought you were going.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what I seen, that I screenshot a quote that said something about the GPS. You ever realize that when you're driving somewhere and you make a wrong turn or you miss your turn?
I never do that. I'm perfect.
Okay. All right. Monique is perfect. She always gets her point A to point B.
I'm the worst at the GPS. It's always like rerouting.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Do you ever realize that the GPS, when you make a wrong turn on the destination that you know you're going here, you're going to the Costco, you don't know how to get there, but you put it in your GPS, and you make the wrong turn or you miss your turn, your GPS doesn't say, you made a mistake. Now you'll never get to Costco. It says no, it says rerouting.
Yeah. And I say back, that's right, you better keep up.
I could totally picture you.
Fix this.
Hurry. How much? And, knock off 5 minutes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have it. I think it's recently on my phone, actually.
It's funny.
Hold on.
I do. I'm like, yeah, I know. Keep up.
Keep up.
We're going this way.
Notice how the GPS never says made a mistake. It just said recalculating route. That's life. I'm like, that's true. But how many people hold true to no, I made a mistake. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. Like imposter syndrome. No. Like I'm never going to be able to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's you grabbing that damn glass out of the pond and you're like, cut by it. What is it? Death by 1,000 cuts or whatever they say.
I don't know. That sounds gruesome.
You've never heard that?
No.
Did I make that up? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Death by 1,000 cuts. It's like chasing the snake around. Why'd you bite me?
Oh, that's like one of my favorite things. Like,
and just because that snake is slithering around with a little pretty hat on with a flower doesn't mean that it's nice.
Don't you think it's kind of ruining people? Like, not for nothing. Obviously, we talk about mindset all the time on here, and we are very introspective, and we love perspective. We love all of that. But don't you think it's kind of ruining people, like the amount of information and like titles, I guess I want to say, like that there is out there now where people can like look out and be like, well, I got to figure out what's wrong with me. I got to figure out why I'm this way, or I got to figure out what I had happen that is creating X, Y, Z. I just find that the places in my life where I could even get that answer, like there's things in my world where I could try to trace it back and be like, oh, it was because of your childhood, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like either way, whether you get the answer or you don't get the answer, the reality is you are where you're at. So what are you going to do to get somewhere different?
Right.
Sitting here and naming it and finding it and chasing the snake that bit you is not going to get you where you want to go.
No.
But we're all distracted trying to chase these snakes that bit us and blame and, you know, try to understand why. And I've been there. I'm not saying I've never done that. I've absolutely been there for way too long, even in my past. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
But I guess now on the other side, you're like, why spend the time doing that when you can just go, okay, I got bit. Like, let's fix it. Let's go. Let's get away from that snake and move this way. And, you know,
Bye, snake.
yeah, bye, snake.
You would not use 2 fingers. You'd probably use one. And I'm not going to show you which one. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Not really, though. I mean, maybe. That was fun.
I'll go like this.
This one.
Bye, snake.
Bye, snake. But I think that it comes with growth, Mo. I think that it's important to know that that is a snake and that it did bite you and that, yeah, that sucked. That moment was not the best. That moment did not make me feel happy. That moment actually stood in my way of a lot of things that I didn't realize that I was going to allow it to stand in the way of.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
But if we don't choose to name it and we choose to ignore it, you will never grow through it. So I do think you have to acknowledge it. But I think what's beautiful about the front end of what you dropped on this podcast was naming it your pebble, right? The truth about it. What's the truth of the matter? If you had ownership in whatever that negative snake bite was about, you better damn own it. If you don't own it, you're just as bad as a damn snake. Maybe you just didn't bite first.
But what about if you never get the answer? What about people that are like searching?
You know what John told me? My buddy John. He said that his dad used to always tell him, don't ever ask why with certain things because you're never going to get the answer.
Yep.
So don't ask why.
I agree. But that's what I think, people get stuck in that place of why, and then they're like searching like they can't be satiated, like they have to get this answer why, and it's like all this time passes of you searching for something that you might not ever actually get the answer for. Like,
yeah. Well, maybe the question of the why needs to shift off of that and shift on, well, why do you care so much to get the answer?
right.
Why does that matter so much? And then why are you going to allow that to get in your way? Like, you can always take that layer down.
Right.
But when you're looking at that, I do think your journal idea that you picked up from that lady is really profound, because if you can name the issue, you could sit in the truth of it and not the gray ripple. Like, you can sit in the truth of it, you can pray about it, you can have gratitude around it because you have perspective, and then you can choose to make a change tomorrow.
Yeah.
That starts the day before.
Yeah. It's a very practical.
It's very good.
Like, to be rooted and to really uncover things that are causing you to feel uprooted, right? Things that are causing you to feel like insecure or unsure or doubting anything or frustrated or any of those like emotions we don't want to live in, but we feel and we experience them. It's a way to like see that, and then a way to reroot yourself and grab a hold of truth and grab a hold of prayer and grab a hold of what action can I take to make tomorrow different.
Those negative traits can very easily, though, Mo, if not worked through, can turn you into the damn snake into somebody else's life.
Oh yeah, that goes back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, the projection of, you know, all the situations that go on in life aren't necessarily a you thing. It's how people are projecting their inner negativity or their inner doubt or their inner fear on you.
Yeah, I just had a great conversation actually yesterday about this in a past situation that I walked through, and we were talking about like, well, why do you think they were asking me like, well, why do you think that they were that way? And I honestly think everything in life, no matter what, I mean, we talk a lot about mindset, Mindset is at the root of everything, period, the end. And if we don't prioritize our mindset, if we don't prioritize our better health, if we're not healthy, our mindset's not going to be healthy, right? You have to work on yourself. You have to put good things in your body so that good things can happen. If we are eating nothing but quick, fast food junk, and we've all, I mean, I love In-N-Out Burger. I'm grateful we don't have one anywhere near us. It is really good. It is not good for you. But in Vegas, it's so good. But I know it's not good for me. But if I'm constantly fueling my body with that type of food and food that is not my body don't know what to do with. I love Oreos. I know they're not good for me. Like two Oreos is 140 calories, double stuffed. 140 calories for two. You could have a freaking meal for 140 calories if the macros are put together right.
Not just the calories. What about all the chemicals, sister?
Amen. That's fake food. It's Frankenfood. It's ultra processed. That messes with how you feel inside. That messes with your mindset. That messes with how you show up in your day. It messes so many things up. So if you don't have your mindset straight and you're not working on that, you're going to slip up in certain things in your life and other categories. So if we're not prioritizing our mindset, we're not prioritizing our health, we're not prioritizing our self-care, we're not prioritizing our sleep, we're not prioritizing our water, we're not prioritizing our happiness, we're not prioritizing our boundaries, we're not prioritizing our self respect, we're setting ourselves up for failure. And the scary thing is we don't always see it for what it actually is because we're so worried about what the hell the ripple that barely is even going to be there for very long, what the ripple's doing.
It's so huge if you actually just take that. I don't know if you're an emotional eater, but I know a lot of people that I've coached in the past are emotional eaters. I know that I become like an emotional not eater. Like when I am going through something, I typically just like lose my appetite. But I know other people will tend to go. So if we take like this journaling idea and you attach it to, let's pretend you are an emotional eater and you end up crushing two sleeves of Oreos and you're feeling terrible in your day, whatever, and you get to this journaling and it's like, what's the pebble? And you're like, I crushed two sleeves of Oreos and I feel absolutely terrible and blah, blah, blah. Then you get to your truth and you start to uncover like, well, the truth is I was actually really pissed or frustrated or sad or this happened and this is why I just crushed because I didn't really care and I just crushed these Oreos and blah 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 and then you get to this prayer and then you get to the gratitude and then you can say on the change side like what change can I make? Well, I can realize like ahead of time that now I know when I'm sad or when I'm mad or when I'm angry, I'm gonna reach for something terrible like and then that's just gonna ripple even more. So I think that it's just a really great way for our listeners to kind of take a minute and get rooted if you're on this journey with us of being rooted. What does that even mean? She's rooted. It's when you're like you make decisions and literally you check in and you don't even have to give an answer for it because you're like because I'm rooted. Look, why'd you say no to that? Because I'm rooted. Why aren't you doing my work that I need you to do at work because I don't want to do it because I want you to do my work and blah, 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 blah. And normally you would say yes to all that, but you say no finally. Why? Because I'm rooted. It's not my job. I'm not going to take your responsibility. I'm not going to take your stuff, right? Like, that's what we're all looking for because when you're in that place, that's the place that brings the most peace and you have the right boundaries and you're able to function at your best level.
Right.
And then that allows everybody else around you. Like, that's the thing, right? You got to look at people and be like, they are not rooted. That is not, that is not a rooted person.
Yeah, no. I will tell you, like, I know for myself when I do smash like a freaking row of Oreos. Can you believe it? I just told you two double stuffed Oreos is 140 calories.
I haven't.
Well, how many Oreos are in a damn row?
I don't know. I have to, honest to say, well, I have gluten, so I can't eat Oreos. Yeah. They do make gluten-free Oreos, but I have not had an Oreo since I was 18.
I had Oh my gosh, I had 4 last week. Not even kidding. But I find it for me. So if you're looking at emotional eating, right? There is a real thing to that.
For sure.
For me, I notice when I lean more into those things. Like I'm an 80-20 girl, 80% healthy, lean, and clean, 20% live your life. Don't you dare apologize for it.
Yep.
And just know that you could look probably a lot more ripped, but will you be happy? I don't know. Like I like to have an Oreo. So there I am.
No, you won't.
Priorities, right?
Yeah.
I have my own boundaries. This is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
But I do notice for myself, I have a couple pockets of this. When I lean into those things that I know taste good and I know are not good for me, and I have too much, it's because I didn't set myself up for success in that particular day. I prioritized somebody else's table in my day and I shifted out of my routine. And sometimes it's important to do that, but you need a plan of action if you are going to do that, because when I go too far into having a whole row of Oreos, and then I'm like, I don't even want to count those calories. They didn't happen. I didn't eat them. I tend to find that I did not have enough protein at that point. I might have missed a whole meal. I had to rush because I put somebody's priorities on my table, and my priority at that time, I sound like Forrest Gump right there.
Ragrats.
Jenny. Sorry. So real life here, friends. Welcome on in. I'm literally crying right now. I put their priorities on my table and I gave up on what I needed to do in that moment because I was prioritizing that. And sometimes that happens. That's life. But I didn't make a shift in my routine. And now I'm running to the grocery store and I'm like, oh, Talon will love Oreos. I'm going to put those in the cart for him. And I come home and I'm putting all the groceries away. I'm like, who the hell ate a whole row of Oreos? I'm the only one home. And I know I have said this on the podcast probably a couple times, but it's so freaking true. Because if I would have ate before I went to the grocery store, or if I would have been a little bit more strict on my boundaries while still showing up in what I wanted to do with helping somebody else, I probably would have maybe had 2 or 4 Oreos and still been like, shit, that was 280 calories. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not even counting a whole row. Don't ruin my life like that. Don't even tell me. I don't want to know.
But I love that you said too, you were like, I'm 80-20, and you said something about, I don't know what you said. We'll have to rewind it. But you said something like, I know it's bad for me. These are my boundaries or my choices or whatever, and I'm good with it.
Make me happy.
Like, amen to that. And also amen to that in the rooted community, that we are women that are like, I'm not, like, you do you, boo. Whatever your 20% is, I'm not going to judge it. Like, don't judge my 20%. I won't judge yours. Like, and you realize that because you have respect for the fact that, like, that person's managing their happy. Now, if you were like, don't judge me, but you were a wretch and miserable, I'd be like,
what's a wretch?
But wretch.
What's a
like
wretch?
Wretched.
Over here in Chi-Town, we say ratchet. We say ratchet.
Like ratchet?
Yeah, ratchet.
No.
Is that even?
That's ratchet. That's ratchet, like busted.
Yeah.
A wretch is like a miserable.
I've never heard that word. I don't think.
Have you heard scads?
Who?
Scads?
No.
Oh my gosh! Like,
I've heard skedaddle.
I'll never forget, I was at a work event for the company we both used to work with, and I was on a trip, and someone, I don't even know where he was from.
Okay.
But he said something, and I was like, oh yeah, scads of that. And he was like, you got what? And I'm like, scads. And he's like, what is that? And I was like,
yeah, what is it?
Like a plethora, like a lot. I got scads of time. I got scads of whatever, like a lot.
No. I don't think there's a word.
I made that up.
Is that real?
I don't know.
Is it in the dictionary?
I don't know.
You made it up.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta know, because that's actually two people that.
Never heard it. I got scads on it.
Okay. No, that's not.
That ain't the right word.
That's not how you use it.
What does Ariel say? I got what's it's in something galore. Hi, Tux. You want to say hi to the ladies on the sheet?
What does scad mean in slang? Informal, it means a great number or quantity. Scads of money. Yeah, it's a word.
You know what I did?
It's a slang word.
I scadded your point. I put so many things in your way on what you were about to drop because I didn't know what a word meant. And now we're in the dictionary on the iPhone. What were you gonna say? I didn't even remember. Oh man, I ruined it.
What were we?
What'd you call me? A wretch.
A wretch.
Oh, a wretch. You wretch. You know what? I think that's a fake word too.
I'm gonna look that one up. But that's what I was gonna say, is that I think there's also a beautiful place to be as you grow and as you get more rooted in yourself. You literally get to look at people and go, I don't know, I wouldn't do that, but they're happy and they're good with it, and like, if that's what
It's their pond.
Yeah. Yes.
It's their bowl of Cheerios. Don't piss in it.
Ooh.
Hear that? Don't piss in my bowl of Cheerios.
Okay.
Why is that a saying?
Wretch is in the dictionary, just so you know.
What does it mean?
And it is a noun that means an unfortunate or unhappy person. Can the poor wretch's corpse tell us anything?
Ursula said that. Poor unfortunate souls.
The poor wretched soul.
Look it, ladies, you not only get great mindset conversations, we're learning words in the dictionary. I paid somebody in high school to do my vocab.
Oh, not me, girl. That's my
The only word I was like, yep. I can tell you what flaccid means.
Oh.
So there's that.
I am not going to ask how you know what that.
No, that's not why I know that. We're good. That was embarrassing. I shouldn't have. I was a baby. Baby mind. Look at you. You wretch.
Wretch.
Oh.
Wretch. Because I don't know if ratchet is actually, I think that's
a fake word?
I think so. I mean, a ratchet is like a tool. Ratchet is a hip-hop slang term referring to someone or something perceived as unruly, loud, tacky, or ghetto.
Yeah. See?
It is...
I am music, so that's why I use that word.
It's a dialect form of wretched.
Wretched. Nice. Where did my dog go? I don't know where he went.
We are learning so much on this podcast today.
I love it. But you know what's great about what you dropped before I pivot us 500 years around? Here we come. We went around the pond. We're coming back. I do like the whole mindset, though, of the last thing that you do. You have like the pebble is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have all the way at the other end, you have the change, which is the solution. And you know what problems need is solutions, just like solutions need problems. So I do think that if you are walking through this mindset that you dropped down for us today, but you only do half of it or part of it, or you only stay on the pebble of it, you're not going to be able to get through it. So like it's a full circle. You have to go full circle to close the loop. Oh my gosh. And how many weeks ago was it that we talked about like the habit? What was it? The loop.
Yeah.
Until you like name
deal
the
with
loop
it. Right. Yeah.
Pivot, you can't change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
And I think that's one of the key parts to this. journaling process. Actually, I love that it's like guided and it makes you like take the next step and like that. But I do think that that's key because like if you just journal to journal, that's great. Like I said, I've been doing it for years, and you get perspective and you can kind of like talk around different things in your head and like get stuff out on paper and then it's off your chest. Like there's a lot of perks
Yeah.
to it. And there's a lot to writing things down because then it sticks. Like there's a lot to that. But that change piece is key because you could just journal and be like, this happened today, blah, 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 and I think this, blah, 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 blah. But that piece that's introspective that goes, well, what can you do like
Right.
tomorrow to make it better?
Right.
That is,
I love this.
yeah, it's a
I
very,
think that you can do this in a bunch of different ways. Like, let's say someone listening, Mo, is not like a pen and paper girl. They're just like, nope, not gonna do that. You could literally, if there is something that seriously happens, and I think we obviously focus on the negative to get through to the positive, but you can focus the other way too. But like, let's say something does happen in your day where you're like, it creates a negative ripple. Like on your drive home, you can literally take, instead of listening to a song, you can walk yourself through this whole journaling process in your head and be like, man, what the hell was this ripple today that pissed me the hell off? And then name it, call a truth to it. If you had ownership in it, own it, right? Then you can have a prayer about it so that you can bless, release,
yes.
and then you can have gratitude that you actually took the time to turn that damn music off and try to process what could actually get into further days ahead if you don't deal with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful that I named it. I'm
Yeah.
grateful that I called out my truth around the situation. I'm
Yeah.
grateful that I can be woman enough to own my ish. And when you have that gratitude prayer right there and you have the gratitude for what's going on, I put them together. I didn't mean to. They're the prayer. And then you have the gratitude for focusing through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Right there is your decision point. Well, what am I going to do to make this ripple better? If
Mm-hmm.
it matters to me, 5 years from now, and it's not just some like somebody just cut you off in the car, like
That
miss,
happened to me the other day. Bad.
that's scary.
Bad. Yeah, it was very
But
scary.
like if it's a legitimate ripple, not like a stupid ripple,
Yeah.
then we decide, well, this is the change that I am going to own, and I'm not going to carry it with me after I get out of this car.
Yeah.
And then, or I'm not going to carry it with me because now I'm going to put on my badass playlist because I am music and I'm going to get myself up and out of it because I dealt with what I needed to deal with. So you
Yeah.
could do it, that whole process. You could do it on your drive.
Yeah.
You could do it right after it happened. You can step yourself away, excuse yourself from the moment, go to the bathroom, walk through that process, and come out and decide, I'm going to leave that ish right there. And when I step myself through this next place, is through this door, or I turn on this music, if I turn the page or change something in that moment, that whatever I just processed that's staying there, I have the solution. I know what I'm going to do. And now let's freaking move on.
You flip the switch. And I
Flip the
think that
switch.
that's a beautiful thing that you can do anywhere in life. And you take that example and you use that anywhere, but you can flip the switch any point you want to in life. You know, like so many of us, like, I'm nervous to do this, or I don't want to do this, or like, you know, how we both teach dance fitness, like walking it, people are so nervous to come in a dance fitness class. But like I'm telling you, you could stand outside that door and flip the switch of like, I'm gonna walk in like a boss and confident and just own who I am and what I am and like rock it out. And you could have the best time doing that. You just flip the switch and you just be it. Like it's a choice, right? You play the
Right.
game of it. And I love that. And I think that you can totally do that on the fly. And you know what? Somebody cutting you off actually is way deeper, I found out, than just some silly little ripple, because I did journal about that day because it rocked me so good. But what I came out of that was the confirmation of how grateful I am that I was actually paying attention, because typically I'm not like a big texter and driver, but if I'm going to class, which I was, I will scroll through my music and it's typically on my phone. And I wasn't doing that in that moment, praise God. But it reconfirmed how important it is for me, like, to not have my phone while
Right.
driving, because if I was not paying attention, I don't know
Right.
where I would be right now, because
Yeah.
it wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So every little thing in your life really can be a lesson or a confirmation or a moment of gratitude, or those little things, they all add up to genuinely make you who you are, and they genuinely create the life you're living. So I think it's beautiful to take everything and say, this is something because it's in my life today and it happened to me and I felt something from it. And if something makes you feel something, you're alive, and that's good. And you can,
Right. Right. Yep. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's so good. I think that we should end it on that note, Mo, for 2 reasons. 1, because you nailed it. And 2, I don't want your computer to die again.
Oh my gosh. It's not.
So here I am.
love you.
I am controlling the change is what I'm doing. We're going to end this
I love it.
with a good mic drop right here from you, because this is,
You are amazing.
I know you just did that, but like, now that you know that we're going to close it out, if there's anything that you want to share around this system that is working so well for you. And I think it's a good idea to remove excuses like we did with, if you're not pen and paper, you can do that. You can walk through it in your own mindset, in your own moment.
Find a way.
Find a way.
Where there's a will.
If it is meant to be, it is up to me.
Amen.
So
I love
there anything around
this is so good. No, this is so good.
Okay, perfect.
I love you, and I love our listeners. I'm excited to hear from them. I'm excited if you do try journaling this way, let me know. We'll tag the girl, because it's not my method. I literally, I think this woman is so peaceful and so wonderful, and she's so sweet. And I loved the way she explained it, and I'm like, I'll try that. So
yeah, that's the beautiful part about life, is we can pick up great things from great women. So and now you pass it to me.
They have to put themselves out there. Ooh, this is a whole nother topic, because we were just on this too.
Yes.
She put herself out there, and she was vulnerable with her method and her stuff, and she's using her voice, and it impacted and it hit.
Made it to her voice, made it to your world, now made it to my world, and now made it to everyone else. Butterfly effect. Love it. It's a good ripple.
Yes. Amen.
Thanks, girl, that I don't know who you are, but Mo's going to share your name, and I'm going to go watch your video. So, well, with that, thank you so much, Mo, for that. I'm so grateful that we were able to hop back on and grab this, because I'm so excited to implement this. So I appreciate you. I think this is going to be a game changer in a lot of moments that try to change you in a different way. So take control. I love it. It's so good.
Stay rooted.
Stay rooted, sister.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, right? Yeah. All right. Love you. We'll see you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. We hope that landed. If it did, drop a comment, share it up, and you know what? We'll see you next week. Until then, stay rooted, sister.